Hey guys, hope you are all having an amazing Sunday. This weekend has been absolutely insane, full of tons of news and developments. We saw the crypto market experience a small-scale crash that erased billions of dollars. The timing of this event is also incredibly sketch considering the new GameStop report showing their short volume made up 2/3 of the total amount. On another note, we saw a crypto exchange hacked, with the hackers nabbing $150 million. Furthermore, another Chinese developer called Sunshine 100 defaulted, adding further challenges for China. This past week we had a really bearish performance from GameStop and AMC, and I warned you it was coming too. I saw so many people throughout the week saying we were going to have an immediate rebound on the next day, and I think I was the only one telling you to buckle up because we were going to have a ton of volatility. On Friday, I really laid it out for you guys. I said expect more red days, expect more dips, expect volatility and market uncertainty, to expect the worst essentially, and it became my most disliked video. I got my biggest negative reaction I have ever had, and now here we are. I made morning videos this past week talking about the crypto market, because as I have been hinting for weeks before, things are going to start shaking up there. We talked about everything, from DDoS attacks to hacking. We talked about the role they play with Wall Street and everything. Let me tell you, it was no coincidence that the timing of it was random. The crypto market is a huge aspect of the economy and will play a big role in how things unfold, and already we are now seeing a lot of weakness on it. I mention this because many of you accuse me of just wanting to talk smack and accuse me of spreading FUD. The truth is, as you can now see, that many of the things I have warned about have started happening, and that my goal is not to create uncertainty. It's quite the opposite, it's to create mental fortitude by giving you a cold reality check as to what we are likely to experience. I am not going to sing praises when we are going through uncharted and tumultuous territory. I am going to continue laying it out to you straight, so all of those calling me shill and telling others to hit the dislike button because I am spreading FUD, go ahead and continue to do you, because none of that is going to change my mind from saying it how it is. This weekend was very important, because we could experience a lot of changes going forward based on the market transgressions that occurred, so let's talk about it once and for all. Before we begin with today's content, let me quickly state that I am not a financial advisor, and that all content discussed in this channel is simply information gathered that I deem important for people to know, so that they can make informed decisions. All efforts are aimed to better understand the nature of the current market in anticipation of the greatest squeeze in financial history. Let's get started. Let's begin with the most obvious and biggest event, the crypto market plunge. Bitcoin plunged in the early hours of Saturday. Due to the fact that almost all of crypto follows Bitcoin, they all fell. Bitcoin fell as low as $42,000 and Ether, the second largest crypto token, fell as much as 17.4%. Analysts and experts are touting this decline as being technically driven and exacerbated by the derivatives market, which was not helped by the downside momentum behind high-growth stocks on Friday. Due to Bitcoin's correlation, it and all the cryptos that follow it slumped. Further sentiments about Omicron variant and poor inflation outlook are also being used to explain why institutions and investors pulled out. However, I am not fully convinced by these explanations. Though I agree that all of these things did have a role to play, I am still scratching my head, because something is greatly amiss. Why would all the big players pull out at the exact same time? Well, I am no insider so I really don't know, but me being me, I have been looking a lot at GameStop lately. GameStop has been experiencing a lot of weird glitches these past couple of weeks, and the amount of short volume coming in is really weird. I have no doubt that all these efforts by shorters will have a profound cost, and what better way to get some cash than from the crypto market? As explained in last week's morning series, Wall Street institutions own and control most of crypto, so it is common sense to me that they would liquidate their assets in order to help pay for all their misdeeds that they do to meme stocks. Do not forget that this week we saw Fidelity listing over 13 million GameStop shares as available to borrow to short sellers, which represents more than 20% of GameStop's float by the way. Funny enough, on September, Yahoo Finance reported total shares outstanding for GameStop as 249 million shares, which would be weird considering that GameStop's most recent 10Q filing demonstrates the company has only ever officially issued 76.49 million shares. Bloomberg Terminal showed more put options appearing than disappearing as of late, which is done as part of the mechanism to short the stock. When all these companies are questioned, they all quickly say these are glitches and mistakes, but these so-called mistakes keep on happening with only GameStop as observed by thousands of people. This isn't happening with Apple or Microsoft or Amazon stocks, just GameStop. This crypto slump, or crash as it is being touted, is connected to this, and I think it is because shorters needed a lot of liquidity in order to maintain themselves afloat. But the bad news for crypto do not end there. Crypto exchange Bitmart confirmed that they were hacked, resulting in losses of $150 million in crypto. Their CEO Sheldon Shaw confirmed the incident via Twitter, saying, and I quote, "We have identified a large-scale security breach related to one of our Ethereum hot wallets and one of Binance Smart Chain hot wallets, and at this moment we are still concluding the possible methods used, as hackers were able to withdraw assets of the value of approximately $150 million. Hackers used a decentralized exchange aggregator to exchange the Ethereum cryptocurrency and then deposited the funds into a private Ethereum mixing service called Tornado Cash, which makes it difficult to track the funds. Though the losses were estimated at $150 million, the real losses are going to be greater than this, since customers will be leaving or not using the service, and a lot of funds will be needed to get the business back to usual. We have seen similar incidents like this before, where millions of dollars have been lost. In August, Poly Network, a protocol for crypto exchange, said they had lost $611 million. Also in August, Liquid, Japan's cryptocurrency exchange, experienced a hacking incident in which it reportedly lost $74 million worth of Bitcoin, Ethereum and other cryptos. Next up, China developer Sunshine 100 defaulted on $179 million of debt and interest payments due on Sunday as the pain of higher borrowing costs hits indebted companies across the sector. In a filing, Sunshine said it won't be able to repay the $170 million of principal and more than $8.9 million worth of interests on its 10.5% senior notes due on 2021. In a statement, they said, and I quote, "Owing to liquidity issues arising from the adverse impact of a number of factors including the macroeconomic environment in the real estate industry, the company is not able to repay the principal amount of the notes and the accrued but unpaid interest." This new default highlights the series of ongoing defaulting companies that China is contending with. Evergrande might be the biggest ones, but with so many other ones like Fantasia and now Sunshine following suit, it makes it clear that Chinese real estate sector is in serious troubles. Their officials keep telling us not to worry, which is a big personal indicator for me that this is the perfect time to start worrying. With all of this said, we arrive at the primordial question: what awaits us this week? It's hard to say, but depending on how retail investors react, we can either bounce back to recovery, or seriously cripple the market enough so that we could potentially see a correction on everything. So pay close attention to what I am about to say and feel more than welcome to hit the dislike if you get triggered by my bearish sentiments. I want to step back a bit to get some perspective. For the past few months, we have seen a series of sell-offs that have impacted the markets negatively. Though we continue to see new record highs for indexes, we are also seeing a slowdown on the rate by which they climb. We are seeing a large portion of retail selling off their stocks, even blue chip holdings such as Facebook, because uncertainty is starting to peak again. Like I have said, inflation, unemployment, supply chains, wage stagnation, and many other important aspects of the economy are all worsening or stalling, and now with Omicron, things are getting to the point where the more risk-averse are calling it quit and cashing out. Retail dip buyers are coming in to pile up on shares when big companies have big dips, which has proven helpful, but that is not enough. Because of this weekend, retail crypto investors have seen about $250 billion less on their accounts overall. That is very worrisome, because as we observed in the behavior of retail traders, this past week, which was terrible, we did not see retail buying the dip as they typically have. The rate of people willing to buy is falling, because everyone thinks it's going to keep on dipping for the foreseeable future. By not having retail help with this burden, the absence of bulls will yield an opportunity for a bearish market to take place, and a huge correction could be observed. Take this Bitcoin drop as an indication of things to come, because as I have been telling you, volatility is going to come and it's going to come hard. Bitcoin is an important and imperfect hedge for institutional portfolios, and if it stays down or worse, continues to fall, it will be a huge indicator and red warning sign of that is coming next week in the foreseeable months. As Doe Ramsey, Leuthold Group Chief Investment Officer said, the firm's internal measures of oversold conditions are extreme, down to levels that would be expected to produce a rally even if stocks were in the midst of a major bear market. If the markets cannot rally this week, especially in the more favorable calendar date, there is a lot of room to worry. We are in a mild make it or break it point, where if we don't see progress and buyers coming in, bears will take hold of the market this Christmas. As such, Make sure to adapt to the expectations of bad performance of GameStop and AMC and whatever other assets you hold, because as I have been saying for a while, we could see serious losses in performance. GameStop could break below 150 and AMC could retest support at 16 or lower easily on a huge bearish day. If the markets do bounce back strong, and are consistently holding and moving upwards for weeks to come, we should be fine. AMC tested $25 this past week, and though it did bounce back to $29 by Friday, we will need to see it consolidating above $30 this week. In fact, if we are not above $30 by Wednesday, I think it is likely we could see AMC retesting support at $25 again. If a huge market slump occurs, AMC will go back down to 16. Resistance will be met at 30, 32, 34 and 36. We need upward movement, but more than that, we need consolidation. This is not AMC's fault or anything. This is simply a terrible market which shorters will take advantage of to really suppress AMC as much as possible. I hope you guys are ready to catch some discounts if they come. GameStop is looking weak. After testing 159, I am not all that optimistic about this week. We could see it retesting support at 165, 161 and ever 156 on a really bad day. Resistance will be met at 174, 180 and 188. Like I said, this is all due to a poor market performance, as all stocks are stumbling, so don't freak out too much. Thank you all for making it to the end of the video, you guys are all amazing. If you want to support this channel, I have a Patreon link in the description as well as some one-time donation links for Cash App and PayPal. Thank you again for being a part of this channel. I will continue striving for better content. Until then, enjoy the rest of your weekend. See you tomorrow for 2 videos, one in the morning and a recap video in the afternoon and to the moon.